I almost forgot to do my video today, but I decided since I made a commitment that I was going to have to stick to it. So right now it's probably 10 p.m. and as you can tell there's something off with my lighting, which is exactly something that I wanted to bring up. So what I do before going to bed is I start by turning off all of the lights that I don't have a dimmer on, and then I'm blessed enough to have an apartment that has dimmers in our living room and in our kitchen. That way I can dim all the lights and really make just a beautiful environment that's super peaceful and super relaxing. And if you go to a spa, sorry, my dog is doing something here. If you go to a spa, or if you go somewhere to relax, they do all of these things. She's clearly not vibing with the relaxed vibe I'm trying to get her to vibe with, but anyways, they dim the lights. A lot of them have calming music too, so that's another thing that I do. I had my AirPods in because I was listening to some calming music, and then I was journaling, and these to me are just, it fills my soul. I noticed that throughout my pregnancy I started to lose a lot of those things, and I don't know if it was just my pregnancy that was kind of throwing me off, but also I find that when I get into a relationship and I'm living with someone, that they throw me off. And I was reading a book that talks about the art of allowing, and it says that essentially the art of allowing is because I observe other people and then they make me angry because I'm you're not acting in accordance to how I think that you should be acting, and then so it aggravates me. But in this book it clearly, described that that is not the art of allowing. The art of allowing is being able to observe others create in their physical universe and knowing that your attention should be directed to creating in your physical universe. And then I realized that that was the whole dilemma I was having. When someone would come into my world, I would get angry with them and I would be frustrated because I think that right now we should have quiet time, no technology, relaxing music, no screen time, journaling and books instead. And my boyfriend's in the bath right now with lights on, reels going. In my mind I'm oh my gosh, and then when I focus on that it makes me aggravated because I'm that's blue light, that's shortening your attention span, it's not helping the production of melatonin because you have bright lights. And so these are the rules of the game that I play by and that I know work. And once you have the experience of living in more, and it's not luxury per se, but it is spiritual luxury to be able to have that environment that's calming and peaceful and brings you all of that. And then when people don't play by my rules, it really would aggravate me a lot. And then I realized in the art of allowing that we're supposed to let other people do that. So then that was something that I was practicing today, was just observing what other people are doing and just maintaining my centeredness and my groundedness, and also turning my attention to the things that I would normally turn my attention to. So a lot of times when I would get into, relationships, because friendships don't take up a lot of my time, but when I would get into relationships, I would take a lot of my me time away from myself. So I would stop writing my goals. I would stop, doing my meetings on Sundays to set up for the week. I would stop having weekly and monthly and quarterly goals and yearly goals. And yeah, I still have those things, but I used to be really aggressive with it in my own time. And then I realized that the reason that I'm letting in so much of this other energy is because I'm not focusing on those things. And so doing those things and creating those routines for you, it brings back another level of focus. And something that I haven't done in a few months for sure is setting monthly goals, which I believe helps me so much because I have a clear focus on what I need to attain. And I do have a few goals for this year, but I was reading in this book, it's called the book is called The Law of Attraction, but it's by Jerry and Esther Hicks, which is like one of the more recommended books, just because of the source of the information. And essentially it was saying like the more clear that your desires are, the more clear, because they talk about the law of attraction, then they talk about the science of deliberate creation, and then they talk about the art of allowing, and then they talk about looking at your life in like segments and being intentional with segments of your life. And so I, for a long time, have been applying these techniques into my life, because any person that is being a progressive person, and like, did you know that you can tell a positive person from a negative person by like when adversity strikes? Either they're going to like continue climbing and make positive changes and move forward. Sorry, I need to sneeze. I don't know what's happening. Anyways, that's a positive person. Like, people that keep evolving, and a negative person is someone that stays stagnant, or they like get worse over time. So that's how you know positive from a negative person. But anyways, going back to what I was talking about, is that when you're more clear, because the law of attraction, everyone uses it. It's whatever you focus on most of the time, and it's what you're feeling most of the time. Most of the time I'm feeling peaceful. I remember before I was feeling more exhilarated, so I'm focusing on more like excitement in my life, and then I'm going to manifest more exciting things. And I'm focusing a little bit more on gratitude, so that I know I'm going to manifest even better things. And then the science of deliberate creation is based off of a lot of clarity. And so with your monthly goals, you gain a lot of clarity with like journaling and scripting. If you don't know what scripting is, I'll explain that later. But with journaling and scripting, then you get super clear on what you actually want to create. And then the art of allowing is basically staying focused on that no matter what's happening around you. And before, I was really good at this, the art of allowing, because I would hyper control my environment. And through that hyper controlling environment, of course I'd be able to allow, but it wasn't actually letting me build the skills that I needed to be able to win at every level. Because if I'm alone all the time, yes, I'm controlling my environment, but how can I have a successful, fulfilling, happy family when that's one of my goals? And always be alone, it just doesn't go together. And so obviously I needed to develop and learn other skills and move forward there. And then segmented intention, I'm learning about that right now. I haven't finished the book, but that's like the last section of the book. And then essentially it's like looking at your life in like chapters and having intentions for those chapters, or looking at your life in like different segments as well, like in your career, and then in your family, and then in like your finances. And you know, like it used like when you're driving as one of the examples of like what you intend when you're driving, which is of course to like arrive in a timely manner and be safe and all of these things. But it was essentially saying that you have these intentions now, but you set them for later, and what you're living now was something that you thought before. And so right now you're creating for later, but it's very rare that you're creating right now, because there's like a time gap in our physical reality for manifesting, which is a good thing because of how this third plane of existence works, because there is negativity here. And in the fifth plane of existence, there's no negativity. And so when you have things manifest like instantly in front of you, there's no negativity, it's just being positive. But here, since we have negativity, to have that time gap is like very beneficial. Otherwise, you would just spontaneously manifest shit into your life. So that's pretty much that. That was kind of just an update on like where I'm at right now and what I'm putting more effort and attention into. A few struggles that I've been having, but how I'm focusing on overcoming those. And that's pretty much that. I believe that no matter where you're at in your journey, because I was reading this book after someone that read it before me, and she like highlighted and underlined certain things. And I just think it's very interesting, because depending on like where you're at in your journey is going to depend on like what type of things you really resonate with. But you can take the pieces that resonate with you from this Anyways, this person that read that book before me was really resonating with, like, she had a lot of people disliking her, and she was consistently attracting that, and it was because she had a disliking for herself. But wherever you're at in your spiritual journey is perfectly fine, because we're all here to evolve and we're all here to grow, and we're always consistently growing. But you can take whatever kind of gems that you needed from that, and that is from me to you today. We'll see you next time.